Everybody, it's What Elon Said with Kevin and Mark. Today is March 20th, and we're here to provide commentary to everything that Elon Musk says on Twitter, in his interviews, and in his presentations. So today we have content about his feelings on mainstream media, his feelings on GDPR, and some deep thoughts with Elon about turning the other cheek, vengeance, and geniuses. So let's dive right into it. And we have Twitter up here. We'll go back to where we left off, and we go right into some controversial content about Russell Brand, the British comedian who apparently has a YouTube channel now. I did not know this. Were you aware of that? I don't know if it's a YouTube channel or maybe a TV show or what it is.
I think it's on YouTube too. It's also very political and running for office. But I know he's posting a lot. I haven't watched content over time, but it seems like Elon has. So it was a sort of an article saying that he's how Russell Brand will stand up stardom and YouTube conspiracy theories, and it's very landed article in a way. And I have watched one or two things the other day, and I don't know the full scope of its content. But Elon comments is what Elon said. So Elon made a comment about it. He did watch some content, and he finds that he's Russell Brand is more balanced, insightful, and those can definitely him. The good thing of major media companies is more trouble. There should be more dissent. So I agree. Like speaking his mind. Before I saw it was really crazy. But granted, I just had a sample, and I had the feeling Elon did as well. They might be referring to one of the posts that he did, or one rant. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I couldn't read the whole article because it required a subscription here for The Independent, but I know that the headline was talking about how he's become an online current affairs guru.
Yes.
I guess he has some differing opinions about things, or some.
I've read his essays. He's had a number of essays published before in papers, and I found them to be very strong arguments. I mean, he has strong opinions, but I don't feel like he's promoting anything wild. So I don't know, but it's good to see. I guess in general, it comes down to Elon is stressing that more points of view is good, and we shouldn't just have a point of view from one source. So let's hear it. Don't sort of censor points of view. I think that's really what Elon's saying.
And he follows it up here, replying to Mr. Manderley, who says, "If you agree or disagree with everything one person says all the time, you likely aren't thinking at all. This is a problem when people support politicians like they're a sports team." And Elon says, "Good point. Politicians and political parties should be supported on their merits, not like they are one's favorite sports team." And just reiterating a balanced intake of information, and also pushing against the polarization that we've really seen in the world in the last few years, the growing polarization, I'd say, and almost like stubbornness to just go against individuals in the spotlight, whether they're politicians or whoever it is, Russell Brand maybe, without even listening to what they're saying, and just anything that comes out of their mouth is good or bad, just based on like your first instincts or maybe your tribal connections, to your tribe.
Yeah, like you have to have a balance. Like you have to be able to listen to people like an adult, rather than, as you said, a sports team. You're not gonna like say, "Oh, the other team's terrible." All the ball players are friends behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So you can listen to them.
But on the surface, I'd say most sports fans are very they show very strong allegiance to their teams and hatred for the others. But
Absolutely,
I'd say probably 90% of them, right, when it comes down to it, would like do the right thing and like at least listen to the other team what they have to say. I,
Yes, yes.
uh,
So good point of view from Elon. Good to see.
yeah. It also clarifies his like of Russell Brand's Valentine's Day tweet from earlier in the week,
Oh
doesn't it?
yes, that we saw the other day. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So bring some
Correct.
context to that. Okay, so next up we have some pictures posted from SpaceX. Just absolutely
Oh,
beautiful, in my opinion.
amazing.
These are just some of the most stunning shots I've seen of Starbase yet. And this was the propellant test that I guess occurred late last week into the weekend. But like, just look at that, just
Yeah, it's just
extending
amazing
out.
how it's out there.
Yeah,
And it's just one little platform in that marsh area. It's wild.
yeah, it's
But it
amazing.
looks,
This last one actually, I agree with you. Really uh, brought some perspective to me as to
yeah,
just how strange of terrain that is.
very weird area to build but I guess it's very isolated. So that's how they were able to build it there. But it is
Hmm.
a strange land. Uh, I read a little more on Starship. Apparently, this ship, number 20, they've gone through a lot of testing in terms of stacking it and also that cryonic testing the other day.
Yeah,
Um, they're saying they're definitely doing more tests, which is good, but most people feel that this ship will never launch. This is just still a test one. There's better ones that they have planned for the actual launch that will come out.
really.
And the launch probably won't happen until at least April at this point, which is still not far off, but it's not going to happen in March.
Okay. Well, I thought you were going to say another year. So
No,
another
unless,
month
well,
is
another
much better.
year, and if they don't get approved soon, they will have to move it to NASA
Yeah,
and at their
down in
headquarters in
Florida.
Florida. So that would take another year. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll stay up to date on that front. Here we have Paper Bag Investor doing some comparisons of Tesla in their early IPO days versus Rivian in their very new IPO phase. And we can see that Rivian's revenue is higher, but their margin and expenditures are just significantly worse, I'd say. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't really read into the chart here, um, but we have Elon reiterating. I'd almost go as far as to say it's his motto or his mantra now that
yes.
prototypes are easy, production is hard. Making an electric car was not the hard part of Tesla. Dozens of companies have done that. But reaching volume production with sustained positive cash flow was last achieved by an American car company, Chrysler, about 100 years ago. Ford and Tesla are the only American car companies to avoid bankruptcy. Even GM and Chrysler went bankrupt in 2009. So,
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have heard him that line from him, that whole paragraph he said before, and but it's true. He's making a point that it's just really difficult. I don't think he's saying that they can't make it, but the odds are stacked against them, and those numbers up top, like before the chart, of just those key stats, they're frightening. I mean, it's amazing that Rivian had. I don't know if you could scroll back up there to the numbers. That that I think the gross margin of Tesla at that point, they had a 22% gross margin.
that's
Rivian's
unbelievable to
negative
me.
700. It is.
I
And
can't believe that. Cuz that's about a decade in for them.
in
Just
2011,
about. Yeah, it's like
uh,
8 years.
8 years or so. Yeah, correct. And they were already having it. I mean, I think at that point they were just making the sports cars, so they didn't really have the
Roadster, yeah.
expenses for the Model 3 yet. So it was a little warped in the time, this particular time of when it was. It
Yeah.
was probably an odd year. But I also read below that I think someone said that Rivian has 13,000 employees or something, or some insane number right now.
Wow.
So there's just a lot of money flying around there. Their losses are just enormous, billions. So we'll see. You never know if they'll make it, but this does give a stark comparison of the difference between the two.
Mhm. And Elon being reminded that Tesla was on the breach of bankruptcy in 2018. It's insane that you got through it. And he says, "True, that was a mega pain
Mega
was
pain.
mega
It was pain.
pain then.
Yeah, mega pain.
But hey,
Like
let me
eating
ask you, when do
glass.
you think Rivian was founded?
I would
Do you
say
know?
he's probably founded about, I'm guessing, I don't remember exactly, but I think probably about 6 years ago or so, I would guess.
Yeah. So there
5 or
was a lot of
6 years.
commentary in the comments underneath this about, is this a real apples to apples comparison? Given their founding time frame and IPO date, and it looks pretty comparable to me. So Rivian was founded in 2009 and IPO'd in 2021. So I mean, that's 12 years
Rivian
in.
was founded in 2009, 12 years. Oh, so it's
Yeah.
a long time. Yeah, I would say the only non comparison I think that Tesla did not start mass producing or plan their bigger car. It was just the very high end at this point. And I think Rivian is going a little lower. So they're trying to mass produce earlier than Tesla did.
Mm,
So I
okay.
think they're at a different stage. So if you're doing when the Model 3 came out, I think that's more of a equal comparison.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful for him either way. I mean, more
Yes.
EVs better.
Yeah.
And it looks like a
100%.
cool truck to me.
Does look
But
like a cool truck.
but it ain't gonna be an easy road for him.
No, no, it's painful years. A lot of stress there, I'm sure, right now.
Hmm.
So, but I hope they make it. I have a feeling they'll be bought out in the end, but you never know. Um,
All right.
so
Well,
here we have. Well,
yeah.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me take this one, given my location,
Yes.
because I can speak firsthand to this one, and I kind of agree with this. Several years into GDPR, it remains bonkers in practice. Every site on the internet gets an awful pop up that no one reads and clicks anything to make it go away as quickly as possible. It's an idea that 100% backfired and is pointless, makes every website worse. And he says, absolutely. I mean, Elon's been outspoken about this before and like cookies in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but
It's
yeah,
awful.
I mean, it is frustrating. It's weird that after a year almost here that I've just gotten used to it. That like I just multiple clicks every website that I go to, and at first it was just incomprehensible, and now I just like it completely. I overlook it. It's like whatever. It's what I have to do. But it's right. I've never read any of the fine print about it.
No, and I have a. I mean, it's in the last year. It's become. I mean, it was prevalent, but now it's become much more prevalent here as well in the U.S. because we know it's just legislation is going to come this way, so everyone's adopting it, and it's maddening, and hopefully it goes away, but it never will.
Yeah, well, it could get worse, right? Because didn't weren't they just talking late last week about a French uh, metaverse, like a European metaverse or something? Where
Oh, I don't know.
I know Brett Winton had some thoughts about that, about it. In the European metaverse, you'd have to swat away cookies with a giant fly swatter or something, or
Hey, at least we're
or
not in
pop up.
Canada where everything has to be in two languages by law.
Yeah,
That's
jeez, man.
that's even more maddening. Two websites you have to build.
All right. Well, here we got your favorite name to pronounce. So
Oh
go ahead.
yes, Shibatoshi Nakamoto. Is that close? I think so.
New England was
um,
good.
that was good. Okay, I need an excuse to avoid people since no one cares about COVID anymore, which is very funny. And his answer to what he's going to do to avoid people is basically talk about Web3 NFTs in the future, that they and crypto are the future, and that
Yeah,
way he'll stop getting invites. And
yeah,
it was Elon thought that was funny, so it's a little funny one, but true.
yeah. I wonder if that's more of just like a personal, like I know you well and that's true about you, or if it's just more like broadly speaking about humanity coming out of this.
I
And
think it's humanity, and also no one wants to hear about crypto. And like
yeah,
they even at I think SNL had a their Christmas get together skit a couple months ago, And then they had the one relative that just talks about crypto at Christmas dinner. Everyone's like, oh.
Well, I'm still a fan of the SNL skit with Elon where he went. It was like the first get-togethers after COVID, and
Oh,
everyone's real
yes.
awkward and no one remembers how to talk to each other, and you're like inside his
Yeah,
head. I thought that was so
yes.
good. But I can relate to this one. I can relate to this one. Although I think Elon, in general, likes humanity, likes being around people. Never met the guy, but he's got a number of kids, so he doesn't seem to, have problem with being around other humans.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
He likes it.
All right, so we
What you
got
got
some
here?
deep thoughts from Elon here, and he is
Ooh.
talking about the limbic system of our brains. And he says the limbic instinct for vengeance is incredibly strong, which is why turn the other cheek is such a powerful idea, as it ends the cycle of retribution.
Mm.
Yeah, deep thoughts here. I don't know what triggered this, if this is something in his personal life right now. Or just something that he
Yeah.
was thinking about. Maybe he was at the Neuralink offices this weekend and, was thinking about limbic and cortex systems and reptilian systems and all that of the brain.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, was this just a dinner party conversation or a Neuralink thought, which is very likely. It's a good idea. Or I don't know if he was just thinking about the war and the need for vengeance that's out there right now and how to hold yourself in check. But it's interesting.
Yes. The song from Fiona Apple came to mind of I think it's called Relay. This line, it's like repeated. It's the chorus of the song, but evil is a relay race where the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. Basically, like you get burned, and we just pass it along, and it doesn't stop until someone puts out the flame, and just
That's right.
takes it and moves
Everyone get
on.
the anger spreads. It keeps going past, like heading to the next person. I agree.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think our guy Tim Urban had something to say about this in relation to the old phrase "sticks and stones may break our bones, but words can never hurt us." So a
That's
lot of
true.
interesting replies to that tweet there.
Makes you think.
Yep.
Okay, here we have some SpaceX news
Yeah.
that yesterday, when they launched another batch of Starlink satellites, it was the first time a Falcon 9 first stage has launched and landed 12 times. It's quite the record. Very impressive. So, can you believe that? I mean, the cost of that rocket
Yeah.
compared to the old disposable ones is, I guess, I'm bad at math, but I guess 12 times cheaper now, or at least hundreds of times cheaper because of a reusable system. So it's just amazing they could do that, and it makes you wonder
Yeah.
how many times they can reuse each one of those first stages.
Yeah. It seems like it's got to be at least 12 times cheaper, right? Unless it
Is it
is
exponentially cheaper?
slightly less savings with every launch. I don't know, or maybe it's
Could
more.
be.
Maybe it's more.
I don't know. And I read that the this will be surpassed very soon because this actual one that was launched was an older model, and the newer ones they can turn them around much faster.
Okay.
So it's gonna be very soon before the others. I think there's like two others that will match that very soon and surpass it. So their turnaround is amazing, and I think they've already had 12. Speaking of 12 for launches this year already. So it's I think they're averaging one a week that
That
they're
sounds about
launching
right.
a Falcon.
We're pushing into the second quarter here, so.
Yep, yep,
But yeah, I love how it landed on the just read the instructions drone ship. Always good
yes,
stuff there, and we'll see more content about that in the likes, and I think there's a couple of videos and pictures too. So he also notes that it's also the heaviest Falcon 9 payload at 16.25 metric tons, carrying 53 Starlink satellites. Here's a cool
wow,
picture of it too.
very cool.
Yeah. All right. Here, this doesn't display very well, but I'll leave it at this, that he posted a meme. Not sure if he created this one or just found it. and liked it, but he says geniuses are often rejected by society. And we have a simple oven tray that would normally only take one pizza, but is actually taking two because they're cut in half and rearranged to fit perfectly.
Genius. That's pretty impressive. I like it.
And here's a Lex Friedman response with a cute baby trying to put a square through this toy and just lifts the lid up, throws it in
Yes.
there. So very cool.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's always good replies.
And we got a couple others here that just came through. So let's see what he says about
Ah,
this. So we have Tesla Model X 5-seater deliveries begin. Is there new hope for a 7-seat plaid variant? And Elon replies here and says the 6-seat Model X is best, in my opinion. There are times when I only want to offer that variant. Okay.
oh,
Yeah, when we were looking for cars, this was a year or two ago, we had found, I believe, a Model S that actually had 2 rear seats, rear facing seats. I don't know if this was like a modified uh, element from the owner, but I was real surprised to see that. Um,
interesting.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was
Interesting.
like those old Volvo station wagons.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
those?
yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yes, definitely. Huh.
My
It's
kids
interesting
saw
to
that
see.
and they were like, "Oh, we got to get one."
Let's do it. You're like, maybe in the future we'll get a Model X.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up for today's tweets and replies from what Elon said. And if you like the video, please give us a like and subscribe. And we'll see you on our next video where we'll cover his likes.